McCaughtrie started in 2013 to provide businesses and organisations with help and support around social media and digital marketing. We provide a variety of services that range from helping someone develop a social media strategy all the way through to mentoring teams or people responsible for marketing to actually do the social media themselves in-house, but also all the way through to account management, where we have clients that don't have the time, knowledge or inclination to do social media, but they're aware that it should be an integral part of their marketing and overall strategy. And in those instances, we will then account manage. So we work quite closely with the business owners or the senior level people within a business, and then their marketing department, if they have one, to then remove that burden from them, and we then manage all of their social media content. McCaughtrie uses apprentices as the core part of the learning and development strategy for the business. It is the only form of learning and development we do for employees, and it is an integral part of what we've done up until now, and it will remain sort of the firm focus of learning and development for the business in the future. We took on Georgia in 2015 after Georgia had done a period of work experience with the business. She'd come to work with us through some holidays and then some work placements that had been arranged through the school locally here in Bewdley. So we actually had the apprentice before we actually found the apprenticeship, so to speak. I came across the 3A's about 12 months before I'd started to look for an apprentice, as I had no idea about apprenticeships and what they entailed. And then from there, when the time arrived that I was looking to increase the capacity within the business and take on our first employee, and Georgia had reached the point in her A-levels that she was looking to take a little bit of a different route, we then were able then to approach the guys at 3A's in Worcester about options of what does an apprenticeship look like with regard to digital marketing. Taking on Georgia has been the best decision I've ever made in the 5 years since I started the business. It has allowed us to take on a young, enthusiastic individual that was essentially a blank sheet of paper coming out of education, that we were able to develop, train, both personally and professionally, into now a professional account manager that we are able to trust to work with clients and to deliver high level of work, and to help us develop the business as a whole, that I believe she will be a permanent and important fixture for the business in the coming years. Georgia's skills and knowledge that she's picked up through the 3A's and the development over the last sort of 2 years are now essential to the business. Like I say, Georgia's grown personally, but also then from a professional point of view, she's brought some new ideas into how we work, into how we use the systems internally, but also the creativity, which is essential for how we work with clients. So as much as she's increased the capacity, which was one of the key things why I looked at taking on an apprentice, it was important I took on the right apprentice in terms of how we work with clients. And having an apprentice that we're able then to mould into our culture and our ethos was important. But Georgia as an individual, and I've seen how she's progressed from sort of start to finish, you could see there was always going to be some new ideas and some creativity, but how that has sort of evolved and grown over the last 2 or 3 years is essential to how now we work with our current client base, but also has opened up avenues and ideas of how we will work with future clients in the coming years as well. Different ways of approaching things, the ideas and the interesting parts of the strategy that we could introduce to clients is now an essential part of our overall business offering. We chose 3A's because they were the best people that we'd come across after a period of research. As I said, I'd met the 3A's probably about a year before I actually considered looking for an apprentice, and there was only one person and one company I was going to go and revisit with Georgia. As I say, our situation was a little bit unique. It wasn't just the business going to a provider to look for an apprentice, it was the business and the apprentice then going to look for the provider. So after a period of research and different conversations, it sort of actually confirmed what I wanted to do. 3A's were always going to be at the top of the list after meeting them. I got on well with them as people, and the environment at the academy in Worcester was fantastic. It was quite a welcoming environment, so I thought that would work well for Georgia. But after a period of research and speaking to people, it was definitely made our mind up that the right place to go was 3A's. And from start to finish, everything from the development and the educational side through to sort of the little bits of communication, although that's important, but the most important thing obviously is how the individual comes out, but from start to finish, the most important stuff to the most sort of the light-hearted stuff was absolutely fantastic. And I would have no hesitation whatsoever to go back to 3A's when I'm looking to take on the next apprentice. And wherever I speak to people and they ask me for my sort of personal insight, I can't speak highly enough of 3A's as a company and the guys actually down in Worcester.